I can't believe it. What is wrong with Joshy Boy? All his reviews for Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 have been positive. Is he deranged? The show sucks this season. I mean, where's the gray colors? Where's the long, self-important speeches? Why are characters killing other characters? That's not what the Walking Dead universe is about. No one wants to see horrific violence. What is this guy's agenda? Wait a minute, what's going on here? Looks like Joshy Boy isn't the only one. Trev's Chan, Movie Idol, PT Channel, Knock Bro Nation, the list goes on. They all like the show. No, this can't be. This can't be. Was Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 and 5 actually bad? Am I not actually the genius writer that I think myself as being? Oh God, oh my God. Wait a minute, I know, IMDb will tell me the truth. Let's get onto that website, baby. Okay, here we go. IMDb reviews for Fear the Walking Dead Season 5. Wait a minute, this episode's got a 5.6, 6.8, 5.0? What the hell? Right, here we go. IMDb, Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, baby. 8.9, 8.5, 8.6, 8.9? What? No. Tell me this isn't true. My God, what is happening? Wait a minute. I know what's going on here. This is just a liberal conspiracy against me, the great Scotty G. Fear the Walking Dead was never bad. You guys are just trying to trick me. What a funny joke. You almost got me there. Well, it's off to work I go. Back to writing more fantastic episodes for The Walking Dead World Beyond. Bye-bye. I was this close to making a breakthrough with him then. I was so close. Hello everyone and welcome to my review of Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 Episode 4. As is the norm with all my videos, I won't be holding back on any spoilers, so please do keep that in mind. And without further ado, let's begin. So that's 4 out of 4 for Fear the Walking Dead this season. That was another fine episode, which I'm still shocked about because Season 4 and 5 nearly drove me to suicide, yet this season has been really good so far. The bulk of this episode centres on John Dory doing some investigative work as he tries to find out who killed Cameron at Ginny's camp. Now, who is Cameron, you ask? No idea. He's a nobody. Anyway, the reason why John takes it upon himself to investigate Cameron's death is because Janice is getting the blame for it. So, basically, John is investigating the death of a nobody to try and save another nobody. Alright, I'm being a bit of a dick, aren't I? Because even though I don't particularly care for Janice, I still didn't want her to get the blame for something she didn't do, so I was rooting for John throughout this episode. From the get-go, I was suspicious of Virginia because, well, why wouldn't you be? She's not a very trustworthy person. And also in this episode, John tries to sort of cordon off the body so he can then go over to Cameron's body and investigate it and try and see what he can find. Yet Ginny just says, no, we don't need to do that. It was obviously an accident. He got drunk and stumbled into the fence and died, so let's not look into it any further. And this is very sort of contradictory considering that last week she sent Al and Dwight to go out and search for people and search through houses, and then if they did stumble upon people who were dead, they were tasked with finding out exactly why that happened. So then why this week will she not let John find out why a person on her camp has died? So it doesn't add up. So immediately I was suspicious of her from the start. And my suspicions were only confirmed even further when her sister Dakota says that Virginia is trying to cover up for someone. Cameron's body was buried before John was able to take a look at it. However, John does dig up Cameron's body in the middle of the night and he finds out that his neck was sliced and he finds a piece of the blade on him that was used to kill him. However, I don't really understand how John was able to do this in the middle of the night with no one noticing him, seeing as Ginny supposedly runs a tight ship, but there you go. John enlists the help of Strand to go through the armory and try to search for the murder weapon. Now, I wasn't sure that was a good idea because it's already been shown this season that Strand is the same double-crossing bastard that he was in the first 3 seasons of the show. And it turns out John shouldn't have trusted Strand, because Strand brings Ginny to Janice, and he also unwittingly brings John there as well, because he wants to have John be a witness to Janice's confession. I did think it was a bit of a shame for Janice to just give up and admit to a crime that she didn't do. I thought it was a bit out of character, considering 2 episodes ago we saw her fighting for her life alongside Alicia and Charlie. But then again, it's made out this episode that her and Cameron were in a relationship and she was upset he died. So she's lost him and she's lost her brother from last season, so maybe she just had no fight left in her and just accepted her fate and wanted to die. With an execution date set for Janice, John believes that he still has enough time to find some evidence which will exonerate her. Is that the right word? Exonerate? That's quite a big word. I'm not sure if I used it correctly, but I think I did. But yeah, John thinks that he can find more evidence to free her, but he doesn't account for Ginny moving the execution time forward and then killing her. And the way she kills her is pretty horrific. She ties her to a post and plays music, and the music obviously attracts the undead, who then eat her alive, and this echoes what Ginny was saying previously in a conversation to John about that being a punishment they gave someone else. I'm not sure if it was at her current camp or at a different camp, but it's exactly the same manner in the way that they killed Janice. The way in which Janice died was pretty gruesome and in keeping with the darker tone that we've seen this season. And maybe I should delete that video in which I said that this season wouldn't be darker and it was just a marketing ploy. Can we just forget I ever made this video, please? I'm not going to cry because Janice died. I mean, she's never been one of my favourite characters on the show. I don't really have anything against her. I don't hate her, but I just never really cared for her since her introduction. But it did get me pissed. Her death did got me angry, and I felt the same way John did when he rolled up to town with his guns ready to basically blast through everyone. John is stopped from going on a suicide mission, however, by the Rabbi and Strand reveals that it was him who led Virginia to Janice to get confession, and Strand excuses this by saying that Janice was always going to take the fall, Virginia didn't like her, she was always going to die, so I knew she would die, so I just wanted that to be done quickly, and then you would stop investigating her and you would go freely. So yeah, he basically justifies it by saying Janice was going to die, but I didn't want you to be dragged down with her and die with her as well because you found out something you wasn't supposed to. Now, with this being Strand, you don't know whether he did genuinely feel this and he did believe that John's life was worth more than Janice and that there was no way of saving Janice, or it could just be that he wanted to get some more brownie points with Virginia and thought, if I do this, Virginia will give me even more privileges and give me more stuff. So, you don't know. You never know with Strand, but that's what I like about his character. And that's, like I said in my previous video, that was the Strand that we saw in the first 3 seasons. So I'm glad that he's still remaining true to his old self. I like how John is now seen behind the curtain of Lawton, because at the start of the episode he's writing a letter to June and it's all very optimistic with him saying that he believes that they can make a life for themselves here and that no one's died here and that maybe it's not as bad as everyone says it is and blah blah blah. Whereas after Janice is killed, he kind of just says that, you know, Janice was right about this place is disgusting, it's fake, it's evil. I mean, I can't remember what his exact words were, but that's kind of what he was just saying. He's lost faith in Lawton, and I liked how that contrasted with the opening scene at the start of the episode. John is rewarded by Virginia in front of the town for the part he played in solving the murder, and it's really bittersweet because, I haven't mentioned this yet, but John found an earring at the scene of Cameron's body, which he gave to Virginia, and then Virginia planted this earring, or a similar earring, the other earring of the pair, in Janice's bag, and that was what then caused her to say, oh, it was Janice who killed him. So without John's interference, she wouldn't have actually died. So it's quite sad to see him being rewarded for this by Virginia, when in fact if he had left the entire thing alone, then she probably wouldn't have been able to pin the murder on Janice. John is presented with a key by Virginia, and now that means him and Strand are both Rangers, I believe, and I think this might be a common theme this season, with our protagonists getting more and more influence and getting more and more privileges within the town, and I think it will get to the point where eventually they get so much power that they believe that they are in a position to take over Virginia. So I like how this season is slowly building up to that point. June knocks at John's house at the end of the episode and she says she's been redeployed to work near John, and this is obviously a reward, I believe, from Virginia, who has now allowed June to see John, And that's another reward for the part he played in killing Janice, which again is quite bittersweet because he gets to see the woman he loves, but it's because a girl who he said he considered to be family prior in the episode had died. All in all, I enjoyed this main portion of the episode. It was a bit disappointing that we didn't see Daniel and Alicia, but I'm sure they will return soon. The episode was bookended by 2 scenes of Morgan. The first scene is him getting some of Grace's clothes, which I believe Daniel Salazar delivered to him, and he's getting the dog, which was the bounty hunter's dog, to sniffer it so he can try and find Grace. At the end of the episode, Morgan's car is smashed into by another car, and the 2 dudes in it are the guys who were standing near that washed up ship that was on the shore a couple of episodes ago, at one of the endings, one of the episodes, and they want the key that is around Morgan's neck. Morgan uses his axe staff, as I'm calling it, to brutally kill them. I mean, one of them, he sort of smashes the staff into the dude's stomach, cuts it open, his intestines fall out, and it's just disgusting. But this is the kind of action sequences that I want with Morgan. I'm glad that he didn't try and say to them, oh, you don't have to do this, we can work this out, you can change, and then just knock them out and let them come back and kill them again. I'm glad he is sticking to his kill or be killed attitude. Well, at least he is for now anyway, so I hope this carries on. This is what I've been crying out to see Morgan do for years now, so I'm glad that we're seeing some awesome action sequences with him actually killing people. The episode ends with Morgan pondering what the key around his neck actually does. I mean, if someone's prepared to kill for it, it must be pretty important, so I'm hoping that whilst he's on his travels trying to find Grace, he will also make his way to that boat and find out what the key does. And hopefully he doesn't accidentally nuke everyone. Now, once again, this was an episode which only focused on a couple of characters, and it was good, which is strange because if you watch my Walking Dead reviews of seasons 7 and 8, which I probably wouldn't recommend you do now because they are pretty bad in terms of quality, in those videos I often moaned that The Walking Dead would split its cast up and nothing would happen, and it all felt like filler and just an attempt to get the show to the 16 episode mark. It didn't really feel like it was warranted, it just felt like a waste of time. However, despite every episode of Fear this season being focused on different cast members, I don't feel the same about it as I did The Walking Dead seasons 7 and 8. I mean, each episode kind of feels like its own self-contained story. I mean, yes, there is a bigger narrative at play and it does link into other things that are happening, but you could watch these episodes on their own and be satisfied with what you've seen. And it doesn't feel like the show is just splitting characters up and wasting its time until it gets to the mid-season finale or finale when something will actually happen. It feels like, I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like it's justified in splitting the characters up, whereas before it just felt cheap and it just felt like it was just used as padding. I was worried pre-season about Fear taking this approach in splitting up its characters and having each episode only focus on a couple of characters each, but I think these 4 episodes are a good example of how you do these kind of bottle episodes. They all feel like they are warranted and they all feel like they all tell their own individual stories, and yeah, good season so far. I've liked every episode. John was fantastic. I loved that. I loved seeing him realise that Lawton wasn't the place that he thought it would be. Morgan is still an animal, which I like. It was all good. No complaints from me. I mean, I know all my reviews so far this season have been very similar, with me just praising the show and whatnot, but yeah, there's not really any complaints so far. I mean, we've had the minor odd complaint, but I'm not hating on Fear the Walking Dead this season. This season has been very good in my opinion, so let's hope it carries on. So there you go. That's my review of Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 4. I nearly forgot what season episode we were on then. Let me know your thoughts below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know below. And I'll see you all very soon. Goodbye.